So, another video working on this machine. One of the problems that we've had since we got it was it came with these really junk joysticks. As you can see, they look like you probably got chewed on by a dog or something. Oh well, doesn't really matter. So had a hook up on some Komatsu joysticks, which happened to be pretty darn close to what these Bobcat ones are. So what we did is we took the adapter out. That's what this is right here, or whatever I guess you want to call this. And I drilled this actual joystick for the Komatsu adapter, Bobcat adapter, and then I tapped it out to the right thread, and then I just screwed that Bobcat adapter right in, and it's like factory. And now I've got a much higher quality joystick, so it's pretty sweet. So I guess I'll document me tearing off this other joystick and replacing that one, and kind of showing you my struggle, I guess. So I think I'm gonna try to take that nut, and then I think I'm just gonna end up cutting this wire, because to be honest with you, I don't think it's hooked to anything. And I don't feel like tearing that whole piece of plastic apart right now. Just sounds like a lot of screws to lose, or, whatever. So I'll probably just trim the wires for now. And if I lose any functions or anything, like, whatever, I'll go in and fix it. But as far as my knowledge goes, this button does nothing, because I've pressed it many times and got nothing out of it. So like I said, I'll probably just trim them and go from there. So I guess I'll get going. Of course, the only cutter you can find is the most clumsy one. There. Feels like it's hooked to something, but geez, I haven't. It's never done anything every time I've pushed it, so it must not be that important. I could probably check to see if it's hot, but I don't know if I have a multimeter with me here. Oh, there's actually a wire here that ran down the center too. We broke. Yeah, because this ran. Oh no, that's the one we just cut. Duh. It must have. Yeah, it comes out this little hole area. Cool. So now we just gotta get this. Ooh, that's in there tight. How are we gonna do this? Probably gonna just, no, it's gonna jimmy that nut up. So what we'll do is we'll get it down here, go like this. There. Perfect. Not probably too nice to the threads, but yeah, that's where that wire came out, right in that little hole. So I think what I'll do is, those Komatsu joysticks have a wire that runs with them, and what I did on this one is I just ran it alongside the boot, and then when I make the zip tie to hold the boot down, I'll just hold down the wire will just be inside of it, which shouldn't be too big of a deal. Then if I ever do want to hook it up to something, I do have that option, because I'll just probably just stick it down in there and leave it for the future, because who knows what you might have to hook up. We've been talking about maybe a hydraulic thumb, or I guess this does have that auxiliary function, but it's on these foot pedals, and I've really never been impressed by these, so we talked about maybe doing electronic solenoid, but we don't know yet. So I guess I'll get to getting this joystick hooked up. Okay, long main goes on the joystick. I know that these had Loctite on them from Komatsu, but I don't know how important that is. Then we'll tighten the jam nut when we get a little bit closer to putting it in. Screw it down all the way. Probably out of shot there. There. So. There. Pretty simple task. Oh, here's something we can't forget. We gotta have this boot. There, it just pops right off. Then make sure we gotta go through the wire. Try not to rip that boot. There. Looks pretty good. So now we just screw this thing on. Ooh, something looks a little funky, doesn't it? Yeah, it looks like that's backwards. Oh no, duh. We gotta adjust the joystick too. So we'll get this. That's just 2 adjustments. Okay, we'll have to loosen this one. There. That looks kind of looks far forward compared to this other one. Oh no, this other one's propped right now. But yeah, as long as it feels good there, so that should be good. I can always adjust it later too. So just use the any size wrench. Whoops, it's not working too well for me here. Let's use any size. Give her a nice, get her nice and tight. Same goes up here. Helps to use your tools the right way too. Get a lot better grip on them. And for now, we'll feed the wire down in here. We probably should check to see if that line is hot, but who knows? I mean, I'll come back for it. Come back to it later and we'll check. As long as, yeah, everything still works, so it's not that critical. Let's see. It's pointed a little bit funny, so we'll fix it. There. Not bad. Still looks a little funny, doesn't it? I think it is. Ooh. You really want that whole thing to come loose. It's fine, I got the right solution here. I should just go get a crescent wrench. There. Definitely not the right tools for the job, but once it's all together, I don't really plan on this thing coming apart for a long time. But it is a Bobcat, so you never know. Cheap. It's definitely tight. Helps to spin it the right way too. Probably I could just use this. Quit screwing around. There. I got it. Oh my God, it's tight. How did I get it so tight? I think that's gonna end up being something like that. This time will not tighten up so tight. Look at that. Hopefully it's English. Of course it's not. Hopefully it's this size. Of course it's not. What a nightmare. Around, what is this, 4? There. So now, tighten that. Flip this thing out. There, that's better. Much better. Of course, now the cord's going to be in the way to tighten it. Oh, this thing's loose now. There. I think that's better. Now I can kind of feel it. Got so much junk in this thing. That feels pretty good. Definitely nicer than the ones that were on there. I kind of like them because they're a little skinnier. This one is still in pieces because we're trying to get the gas strut to pick this so that this picks up, but I can always just adjust them a little bit, but I think they're pretty good. A little bit shorter it feels like, but for the most part I think that'll be pretty darn nice in this machine. So there we go. Pretty simple little fix, but I figured I'd make a short video on it. Just all of our little custom modifications, I guess. Here's another one that we've been working on too. This is that Jesus pin that goes into here. We're making a whole retention system so that these don't hammer out ever again. Then this goes through here. But yeah, so we just finished grinding that. It's all ground finish on our OD grinder, and then I'm going to cut this off here. I'm actually going to tap this. We were going to thread this, but we decided to cut this off, then drill the end of it, and then tap it for a 1-inch bolt, overdoing a big nut that holds it all together. So then we're building a retention system here that'll pull that pin back. It'll have like maybe 2 bolts, and then it'll clamp onto the outside of that pin, and it'll pull the whole pin back on each side, and then that'll keep that from hammering into this hole and tearing that bore up. So that'll future-proof that design. So that's something else that I'll probably end up making a short video on or something. I don't know yet. But yeah. So that's just a quick little fix for the night. But otherwise, it's pretty seamless. I think that'll definitely improve the condition of the cab. Then the seat bottom, that I think we're gonna make ourselves. We're gonna sew up a vinyl. I think we're gonna go vinyl seat cover or whatever. And then change all this, all new foam. Get rid of all that junk because it's just chintzy, thin textile. It ain't good for nothing except for getting replaced. So that'll help that seat out a lot, joysticks out a lot. Then this will work. We took the rubber out of the floor because the floor was rusted out, and we got a diamond plate. So the cab, then we got cab material there. We even kind of made our own little cup holder thing here. We gotta stake it back in or weld it or whatever, keep this thing from rotating. But cab material in there, and then we'll have a piece of cab material along the back that'll quiet this cab down a little bit. What else? I think we have, there's a spring missing in here, and then this little knurled knob, so we'll have to make a new knob. That's been missing since we bought the thing. So we'll get that fixed up, and then this cab will be in A+ condition. There it is, 331E. So she's coming together. It's a little slow going, so take it one step at a time. Yep. Pretty cool. Okay, so I got them after the joysticks were installed here. We're finally getting the new lift strut in for this controls, as you can see right here, and then it goes clear back onto there. So yeah, pretty sweet. We never had this working before, so it's pretty tight down in here. Probably end up coming loose anyways because there's no room for a jam nut or anything on there. It's just a, well, I guess we do have a bushing. There's a little bronze bushing inside of that little eyelet, but there. So that's how that works. Now this can get re-secured, and then we'll have the new joysticks. The lift strut will work. It'll be pretty nice. So I'll get to setting that joystick back up. There. Put these 4 bolts in. Then that pretty much sets the console back up, so we can get the switches and plastics back together. Then I can fix the blower motor switch and the temperature control switch, so then I can have heat in it this year. Tried to not get last year. Then I'll probably just stick that wire in there somewhere, because I currently don't have anything to hook it up to. Down. Pretty simple. There. So now, of course, I'll have to readjust the joysticks, but that's not too big of a deal. Oh, that's so nice. Now, also, there's a limit switch. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but that'll shut all the controls off when I have the levers up, so they can't, so I can't bump them or anything, and then, you know, have the machine turn or whatever. But I've never had any problem with that anyway, so I just don't touch the controls when I'm not supposed to run it. So simple as that. Yeah, so now it's going to be kind of a battle to get all these plastic components back together, considering I've had them apart for so long. And I probably lost most of the screws. Here's one. But whatever. It's just plastic anyways. Here's that switch. I think I just need a knob for this. I think the switch still works. But yeah, I could just switch them out. That'd be inventive. But yeah, so that's awesome. That's so much better. Yeah, we actually had the original one worked until the second time I put it up. I went to go put it back down, and it was pulling really hard, and it just went dropped down, and I thought, oh my, of course. And then we battled because I didn't want to pay the $70 delivered that Bobcat wanted for the cylinder. $70 shipped to the house. Pretty insane. So I did some surfing around and found this other company, C-Tech Industries, and they had one in stock for, I think it was like 30, 35 or something dollars delivered to the house. And you can't beat that. That's half the price that Bobcat wanted for it. Same for this. These seals inside this, we don't have them in. We're just mocking up our new system here, but these seals Bobcat wanted $22.50 a piece for. So, that's $40 for 2 seals, which is insane. So we went to that C-Tech Industries and they had it for $6.50 a piece. And then I shipped it to my house for $15, which is kind of outrageous. But, I still save money on it with that crazy shipping price. So I'm not really complaining about the whole deal. A little bit, because I probably could have saved a little money, but whatever. I don't really care. I stick it to the man, I guess. Yeah, so that's awesome. Much, much, much cheaper than Bob crap. So I'll probably get this joystick adjusted up, and then we'll probably start getting the plastics back on. Probably we'll get the boom tore off again. All I got to do is just swing the whole stick out forward, drive the 2 seals in, swing it back in, drive the pin back in, put these on, and then put our bolt in. So then we have to put this in yet today too. This is for the extendo so that's pretty simple. We just have that sitting here for now. Simply just there's a pin located behind, or it's back in here somewhere. It's probably right in this area. And then you just drive that pin in, and then drive the pin in up here, which is the bigger one. And then that'll be good for that. Hook the hydraulic lines back up, whatever. What else? So, yeah, I guess that's pretty much what we can go from. So I'll try to get this joystick readjusted, and then, maybe zip tie this down somewhere, but I don't know yet. We'll see. So let's get these straightened out. That'll be much more better. Right there. That's pretty good. It's not gonna be perfect. Doesn't need to be too perfect. Just needs to be better than before. Right there. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Sweet. There, you can see they're pretty straight, pretty in line. Not perfect, but so much better. Now I'll be able to, I don't know. This one used to be so low. It used to be dang near right there. And then you touch them and your hands just get black with the adhesive from the electrical tape. But now, obviously, they're brand new, so they're not going to do that. And they're a lot more sleek and slim. Better than these freaking things. So these are no better than trash now. But yeah, that looks killer. Now, someday we'll have a new seat bottom for this thing, and then once I get the plastics back together and then all these switches and everything back in, that'll be awesome. It's just this piece right here. Then I'll have that wrist rest. Just goes on something like that. But yeah, you get the idea. So yeah, I'll get it right. You go get some Torx bits. There's just 2 bolts back here need to be taken out first before, so I can get these blower motor and temperature control switches back in. But they kind of look like a fine thread, and I'll more than likely metric, so finding those is going to be like finding a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. For some reason, none of the hardware stores stock metric, or you know, a lot of metric like they should. As much as I like standard, everything's just got metric in it, so when you need to spare bolts or replacements, you know, you need them. You can't get them. So that kind of sucks. So one of them is plugged in outside here. Guess that really didn't tell me much. So one of them is plugged in. And here's what I don't get. Look at how many plugs there are. And they're all the same. Look at that. And if you go and look on our console, so this is our lights, and then there used to be a wiper switch, but the wiper motor is gone. If you look, no wiper motor, and maybe there was a sprayer, but I don't know. There's only a switch. Maybe that should all be one though. I would think, if that whole assembly, but I don't know where a tank would be or hoses would run. So maybe there's a sprayer out front. There is right here. Check that out. I think that's, yeah, wiper sprayer. So, but you can see the hose right there. So obviously that's not hooked up on our machine. But then again, I've never gotten the windshield so dirty. I don't know where you would need that, but I guess maybe in the rain. But I mean, if you're in the rain, you know, I don't know. I guess I've never used it. Maybe I'll find that I need it, but I could imagine why they took it off, considering it would probably take up half the windshield. But I always run with it open anyway, so I don't know. So I got to figure out which switch is the blower motor, and that should be pretty easy. So I'm gonna get the blower motor switch out. Maybe if I can. Yep. So I'll have to turn the juice on. That's really annoying. So let me get ready first. Where's my switch? I just had the thing. This is how it goes. Yep, there it is. Oh, hold on. This is a different plug. Oh, here we go. Oh, perfect. I guess it isn't a different plug. I don't know what the heck all these are for. So this should go here. Just like that. Jeez, that's going in tight. Press it up against. Jesus. We'll get it in yet. One notch. Try to get it where everybody can see it here. This is quite obviously the blower switch. So now we'll steal this knob. This is off the heat temperature control. We'll just put it in however it goes. Like that. Hear that? The blower motor's working. Sweet. Okay. Shut that thing off. That's horrendously noisy. So now, awesome. So we know that the blower motor and everything works. Now we just have to find the dang nut for this. So we can stick this in, and then for now I can just trade the knobs out, but in the future I'll just, whoops. For now I can just change the knobs out, but in the future I can, you know, get a new knob or whatever. I think these are just standard Eaton switches, I believe. I know that these ones are Eaton switches, so they're all standard anyways, but the trick is going to be finding a freaking one of them skinny nuts for these. So we'll see what we can do there. If we can do that, then we can put this dang interior back together, and that would be awesome. And then, okay, so we're back today. I've got the parts to get all this knobs and everything put back together and everything. I just showed this strut going in, but I think I'm actually going to flip this strut around. From what I understand, well, actually not from what I understand, but I looked up on the website, the Suspa Cylinder website, and they said that they recommend putting these struts in rod end down and then putting this gas and oil chamber up, so then the seals are constantly lubricated, so then they'll last longer. And I believe there should be plenty of space in there to do so. So I'm going to do that because I think that something as simple as that could make this thing last forever. So I'm going to get to that. I've already showed me putting it back together and taking it apart probably a dozen times now. So I'll just quick get that swapped out, and then I'll get to the plastics and everything. So yeah, we'll get to it. Well, unfortunately, after trying to flip that, it doesn't work. Just the body of that cylinder just hits that spring. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. That spring there on the right, it just hits it. So I figured I'd just leave it, but I guess it was worth a shot. So, oh well. Okay, so we're back again. We gotta put the switch in. So I got the switch. I already checked. I know the orientation. So first we'll get it plugged in here. Now it goes pretty hard. There, that looks good enough. Gotta go under with it. Gotta feed it through that tiny little hole. so we can check one more time the knob. And I know it's in the off position. So I'm going to put this washer. It's got some jimmied up threads. And we'll go the nut. It turns out finding these little skinny nuts is pretty difficult. We checked at how many hardware stores, and I ended up having to buy a switch that included the nut for like $7, but you know, what can you do? Anyways, I guess if you're ever looking for these nuts, it's pretty difficult. You know, it's something that you'd think you'd have in a junk drawer or something, but I suppose not. There. I think it's like a 7/16. It's a really, really fine thread 7/16 nut. So it's not like any hardware store is gonna have the right size standard nut to put on there. You gotta get the really, 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 really fine thread one. Get it as tight as possible by hand. There, that should be good. So now I can get the two dials on. That thing looks pretty dirty. Here's the other dial. There. That's working climate controls now. Now I'll be able to actually use the heat. That'll be pretty cool. Awesome. So now I got to get to putting the rest of this interior back together, which can be quite a bear. I know that. Well, I'm going to check the blower motor. Yeah, here. Yep, working. Cool. I'll be able to get some circulation in this cab now, even if it's cold, warm, whatever. Sometimes circulation is all you need, so I know. Okay, so I'm gonna close out the last bit of the cab video, but here's everything all back together. I did not record a little segment here, but here's all the plastics all back together, everything. So everything's definitely nice and tight, much better than it was before. The joysticks are pretty level, pretty straight. Next I think we're gonna reupholster the seat, but I don't know if that's gonna be until next winter or whatever, or we might just make all new seat cushions, but that'll really spruce up this interior as if we didn't already. So now we're just thinking about putting some floor material in to kind of keep the noise out, but I'm not sure yet if we're gonna go with some kind of I don't know. Before I had that, there's a piece around here somewhere. It's like neoprene, and then it looks like it's got rubber on top of it, but I'm not sure where we put that. Probably in the junk, but yeah, so that's the cab. Yeah,